Welcome to Flurry Friday, where today we're going to talk about the launch of Ballot Barrage, a new game, how Erin thinks her life is surreal, and our first look at the G Prime booth for GDC. It's real simple, Jay. So, Possum Jimmy asks, in Redwall, will you be able to choose the gender and species? And the answer to that question is kinda. So there's just not enough time and money to do every possible species in Redwall. There's like 50. But we are gonna start off with 3. So you have squirrels, moles, and mice as the first 3 playable species. But you don't have to pick, you actually get to play all 3. So in this case, you have an opportunity in the game to pick up the roles of each of these characters, but you will have the choice. Each species comes in a pair, so you have a male-female pair, and you can choose which one. So in one case, you're picking a brother or a sister, you're picking a mother or a father. So you have this idea of choosing which species, and then or rather which gender in the species, and then the gameplay and the narrative changes a little bit around that. So one of the things on the plate today is we just launched Ballot Barrage, and I wanted to introduce Erin here. Erin played Art Director. She's been with us for a year.
Just over a year.
Kind of officially, but we first met 4 years ago? Ish?
5.
Okay.
5 years ago.
She started as an intern here from George Fox University and wound up now as an employee, so we're super excited. And I wanted to ask you, this morning you said that you were showing Ballot Barrage to some friends and family, and it was surreal.
Yeah.
I just hope you tell us about that a little.
So this is the first project that I've been with you guys from start to finish. I worked on a little bit on G Prime, but I worked like the last 2 months of the work going into it. That's where I actually started feeling I really contributed to that one. For this one, I was there start to finish, and so seeing it actually on my phone, where I didn't get a developer build, but I got it from Google Play, it was really weird because I opened up Google Play, it's like, oh, there's my artwork. Oh, there's my artwork. This is really weird. And it was fun because I was showing it to my parents and to my brother and to other people, and getting their reaction to it and just being able to show them, like, yeah, no, I did this. I didn't actually do that artwork, but I directed that artwork, and I directed people on how to do that artwork or how that was going to look. That's what made it really surreal, was that this is the first project that I've done from start to finish.
Okay. So probably it was about day 3 that I told you that I was deliberately trying to drown you.
No, I think it was like a week.
Was it a week? Okay,
yeah.
Maybe day 5.
You drowned me a week into it.
Okay, so the point was I kind of wanted to see how you handled stress, how you handled just too much to do. Go ahead and just tell me what that was like.
So up until the point that and before you told me that you're drowning me, I felt drowned. Once you told me that you were drowning me, it's like, oh, I know that is okay if I only have my nose above the water. If it's just, I'm just like, that's all I'm doing, it's okay.
Right on.
And it also made me figure out that it's okay if I'm not getting to everything right at this moment, or it also taught me how to delegate things that, yes, I want to be the one to work on these, but I can't.
Right on.
To be able to, it's like, let other people do the work that I like to do.
Well, you did a great job. And just to point out, on the art side, we also had Olivia and Tommy who worked on it quite a bit. Of course, Gavin worked quite a bit on, I guess, what you call technical art. And so the art project here was a lot of fun, the 3D. Emily did a lot of the states and the 3Ds and stuff like that. So we had a lot of art in this project. And probably, actually, that became the choke point, where often it's the code. But there was just a lot of art and relatively little code, and so it was an interesting project from that regard.
Yeah.
So the idea behind Ballot Barrage is that, the election going on right now is absolutely crazy, and I think everyone knows it's crazy, and we just thought that it'd be fun to make sort of a political parody game, and in the game there are 2 parties. So there's basically the chickens and the pigs, the red and the blue, and in each party there are 2 or more candidates that happen to have oddly familiar names, like Sanders and Clinton, like Cruz and Trump. It's weird how those names just lined up, but that's just the world for you. The part of the gameplay is that you're flying around. It's an orbital shooter that we've done these before. It's an engine that we're very familiar with. In this case, we just made it a gag about basically defending the Capitol from these marauding politicians. And so it's at least irreverent, possibly scandalous, but we're just having a lot of fun with it. So if you just love blowing up a gigantic pig version of Donald Trump, you'll love the game. Or Hillary, or whatever your thing is. We're not taking sides. Basically, it's equal opportunity mayhem. So that's the game. It's out on Android right now. It is in review with Apple. It should be live shortly, and we expect it will be on Facebook shortly, since it is really a kind of a social gag game where it works at. And then we got Super Tuesday, which will be done by the time you see this video, but you're going to see the real live election results feed into the game and the stats, and we have sort of a premise. We want to know whether or not the way that people play Ballot Barrage and sort of the candidates that they support or don't support, whether or not that is reflected in the same real world. So we're wondering how it's going to be statistically, but that's the game. Okay, so also here on Flurry Friday, we're going to have our first look at the GDC booth that Elizabeth Huddock is making, and we took the whole team over there for a field trip, so that was a lot of fun, and you'll see footage here. She's got like 90%. She's in the meeting include.
So I'm walking with the Soma team over to see a booth an artist is making for GDC, the Game Developers Conference. It's not quite done yet, but the booth is really taking shape.
Go ahead, you guys can pile it over there and I'll set up some more chairs for you.
It's foggy.
It's foggy. We could turn that fog down a little bit.
Well, it just keeps going, doesn't it?
It's on an interval timer, so.
That's funny.
That's so cool.
All right.
Alright, so yeah, so have a seat. A symbol, which is very steampunk and fun. And I might do a cage around it, we'll see.
So that's it for now. I think that's it for this week. Please leave comments, like us, share us, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm Chris Skaggs with Soma Games, and it says here that I will see you next time, but I'm not sure.